Noting the quorum, I'll call this meeting, our regular meeting of May 12th, 2026 at just past 5:30. I'm saying 5:41. I'll call the quorum, and everyone who is able to rise, please do so for the pledge, followed by the invocation. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Wilson.
Lord, we're thankful for all the blessings that we have received. We thank you for this beautiful day. Thank you for the rain, Lord. We ask that you would send us a little more. Lord, we thank you for a beautiful parade, a beautiful Shadenki, Lord. We pray that no one did get hurt, Lord. Lord, there are members of our community who have lost loved ones. Lord, comfort them. The Bartek family, the Antos family, Lord. Let them know that we love them and that we're here if they need us. Lord, we thank you for our community members that come to our meeting and give input. May we have the open heart and the open mind, Lord. Lord, we thank you for our mayor, our city manager, our council, our staff, Lord, that work so hard to keep our community running smoothly. Lord, we pray that I can get my strength back, Lord. And I'm sorry that I'm late today, though. Lord, may we have to be wise, Lord, of our community, Lord. May we listen with an open heart and open mind. Thank you so much. This is the prayer we're doing in our Lord's and Savior name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Welcome everyone in the audience and those who may be listening at home. Appreciate your presence as we conduct the business of the city this evening. And with the indulgence of the council and the audience, we're going to go a bit out of order as per the agenda at least. Our brother councilman, Mr. Wilson, has been recently hospitalized, and as a trooper, he is here to make sure that we can conduct the business of the city. So we thank you so much for that, Ronell.
Thank you.
So with that, we're going to move to new business 9.1, 2, and 3. And it is 9.1, discussion, consideration, and possible action on resolution number 2026-0512-01, canvassing the returns and declaring the results of the general election held on May 2nd, 2026. 9.2, administer oath of office to newly elected officials. And 9.3, presentation of certificates of election. So with that, we'll move to canvassing the results of the election. Mayor, City of Weimar, Carlton Tucker, 187 votes, 89.05%. Total votes, 187, 89.05%. Overvotes, 0. Undervotes, 23. Contest votes, 210, gives us 100%. Council member 2, place 2, City of Weimar, Kyle Christian, 182 votes, 86.67%. Total votes, 182, again, 86.67%. Overvotes, 0. Undervotes, 28. Contest totals, 210, that's 100%. Council member place 4, City of Weimar, Christina Behrens, 93 votes, that's 44.29%. Clayton Langoff, 117 votes, 55.71%, for a total of 210 votes, equals 100%. Overvote 0, undervote 0, totals 210 for 100%. So with that, the City Council hereby declares the following persons elected to the offices indicated: Mayor Carlton Tucker, Council Member Place 2, Kyle Christian, Council Member Place 4, Clayton Langoff. The mayor is authorized to issue certificates of elections to persons declared elected. The resolution shall take effect immediately upon its adoption. Council, this is an action item.
I move that we adopt resolution number 2026-0512-01, canvassing the returns and declaring the results on the May 2nd, 2026 general election as presented.
Motion
Second.
Roberts,
Second.
second Wilson. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? With that, passed and approved by the City Council of the Weimar, Texas on this 12th day of May 2026. These are the official results, and with that, we'll move to the oaths of office and swearing-in ceremony.
Ready?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Raise your right hand. In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, I
Carlton Tucker,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office
that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office
of mayor of the city of Weimar,
of mayor of the City of Weimar,
of the state of Texas,
of the State of Texas,
and will do the best of my ability
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws of the United States
the Constitution and laws of the United States
and of this state, so help me God.
and of this state, so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So with that, I'll call up Kyle Christian. In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, I
Kyle Christian,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office,
the duties of the office,
Council Member Place 2,
Council Member Place 2,
City of Weimar,
City of Weimar,
of the state of Texas,
of the state of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve,
preserve,
protect,
protect,
and defend
and defend
the Constitution
the Constitution
and laws of the United States
and the law of the United States
and of this state,
and of the state,
so help me God.
so help me God.
We'll ask Clayton Langoff to come up. You ready? Yes, sir.
You sure?
In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, I
Clayton Langhoff,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office,
the duties of the office,
Council Member,
Council Member,
Place 4,
Place 4,
for the City of Weimar,
City of Weimar,
State of Texas,
State of Texas,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will to the best of my ability
preserve,
preserve,
protect,
protect,
and defend
and defend
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Wilson for coming. And I think we all owe him a round of thanks.
I want to thank the staff at Parkview for facilitating getting Mr. Ronell here.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for your forbearance and allowing us to work along those lines. It made a big difference for tonight's meeting. So with that, we will return to the regular agenda. And we'll move on to item 3. And there are no citizens' presentations or comments this evening. So with that, I'll move on to the proclamations. Let me drink some water.
You got a lot to do. Don't pass them off to me.
Try something a little different tonight. All right, so we'll start with proclamation that May is the Mental Health Month. Whereas mental health wellness is essential to everyone's overall health and well-being, and whereas all Americans face challenges in life that can negatively impact their mental health, and whereas prevention, including education and awareness, are effective ways to reduce the burden of mental health and conditions, and whereas mental health conditions are real and prevalent in our nation, in our great state of Texas, and in Colorado County, and whereas with effective treatment, those individuals with mental health conditions can recover and lead full, productive lives, and whereas we all share the burden of mental health problems and have a responsibility to promote mental wellness and support prevention and treatment efforts, and whereas we call upon all citizens, government agencies, public and private institutions, businesses, churches, and schools in our county to commit themselves to working together through our Health and Behavior Wellness Council to increase and educate ourselves in mental health and mental disorders, removing any remaining stigma, and working to develop needed and accessible services to all people with health conditions. Now therefore, be it resolved, I, Carlton Tucker, Mayor of the City of Weiner, Texas, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim the month of May 2026 as Mental Health Month. So our representatives can come up. Thank you, ladies. National Police Week 2026. To recognize National Police Week 2026 and to honor the service and sacrifice of those enforcement officers killed in the line of duty while protecting our communities and safeguarding our democracy. Whereas there are more than 800,000 law enforcement officers serving in communities across the United States, including the dedicated members of the Weimar Police Department, and whereas since the first recorded death in 1786, there are currently more than 24,000 law enforcement officers in the United States who have made the ultimate sacrifice and been killed in the line of duty. Whereas the names of these dedicated public officials are engraved on the walls of the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial, Washington, D.C., and whereas 363 new names of fallen heroes are being added to the National Law Enforcement Memorial this spring, including 109 officers killed in 2025, 254 officers killed in previous years, whereas the service and sacrifice of all officers killed in the line of duty will be honored during the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund's 38th Annual Candlelight Vigil on the evening of May 13th, 2026 in Washington, D.C., and whereas the Candlelight Vigil is part of National Police Week, which will be observed this year from May 10th through May 16th, 2026, and whereas May 15th is designated as Peace Officers Memorial Day, in honor of all fallen officers and their families, and U.S. flag should be flown at half-staff. Therefore, be it resolved, I, Carlton Tucker, Mayor of the City of Weimar, Texas, on behalf of the City Council, formally proclaim May 10 through 16, 2026 as Police Week. Appreciate what you guys do for us, keeping us safe every day. Okay, proclamation, EMS Week, Improving Outcomes Together. Whereas emergency medical services is a vital public service, and whereas the members of emergency medical services teams are ready to provide life-saving care to those in need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and whereas access to quality emergency care dramatically improves the survival and recovery rate of those who experience sudden illness or injury, and whereas emergency medical services fill healthcare gaps by providing important out-of-hospital care, including preventative medicine, follow-up care, and access to telemedicine. And whereas the emergency medical services system consists of first responders, emergency medical technicians, paramedics, emergency medical dispatchers, firefighters, police officers, educators, administrators, pre-hospital nurses, emergency physicians, trained members of the public, and other out-of-hospital medical care providers. And whereas the members of emergency medical service teams are the career or volunteer engaged in thousands of hours of specialized training and continuing education to enhance their life-saving skills, and whereas it is appropriate and important to recognize the value and the accomplishments of emergency medical services providers by designating the Emergency Medical Services Week. Now, therefore, I, Carlton Tucker, Mayor of the City of Weimar, Texas, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim the week of May 17 through 23, 2026 as Emergency Medical Services Week. Proclamation, Flag Day. Whereas the American flag stands as a lasting symbol of our nation's unity, strength, and freedom, and whereas Flag Day commemorates the adoption of Stars and Stripes on June 14, 1777, and serves as a reminder of the principles on which the United States was founded, and whereas the observance of Flag Day encourages citizens to display the American flag with pride and to reflect upon the values of liberty, justice, and democracy. And whereas the City of Weimar, Texas recognizes the importance of honoring the American flag and promoting patriotism within the community. Now, therefore, be it resolved, I, Carlton Tucker, Mayor of the City of Weimar, Texas, on behalf of the City Council and citizens of Weimar, do hereby proclaim June 14, 2026 as Flag Day. And we've already taken that picture. All right. National Garden Week. Whereas gardeners have a passion for nurturing the beauty and resources of the earth through the planting of seeds and care of all plants and harvesting of its riches of their efforts. And whereas Gardeners Week to add beauty, splendor, fragrance, and nutrition to our lives through the growing of herbs, vegetables, foliage, and flowers. And whereas gardening furnishes a challenging and productive activity for many citizens, for those just learning as well as those having years of experience. And whereas gardening promotes a healthy lifestyle that lasts a lifetime, helps reduce stress from other areas of life, teaches the rewards that come from diligent efforts, And whereas gardening enables members of garden clubs across Texas and the nation to serve others in the communities in which they reside and work. And whereas the Weimar Garden Club works within the city to beautify, educate, and promote the love of gardening for all through scholarships, programs, donations, contests, and recognitions. And whereas the Weimar Garden Club partners with the city of Weimar and other organizations to improve various gardens and structures within the city of Weimar. Now therefore it be resolved that in the effort to acknowledge the importance of gardening and the numerous contributions of Weimar Garden Club, that I, Carlton Tucker, Mayor of the City of Weimar, Texas, and on behalf of the City Council, wish to thank the Weimar Garden Club, and do acknowledge the week of June 7th through 13th and the smooth operation of municipal services. And whereas the office of municipal clerk is the oldest among public servants, and whereas Texas municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality while serving as professionals between the citizens, local governing bodies, and agencies of government and other levels. And whereas Texas municipal clerks, as the official record keepers, managing vital documents, conducting municipal elections, providing legislative support, and ensuring compliance with laws and regulations in cities across Texas. And whereas municipal clerks demonstrate exceptional dedication, professionalism, and integrity in their work, often going above and beyond to serve the communities and facilitate the effective governance of local governments. And whereas the Texas Municipal Clerks Association represents more than 1,100 municipal clerks who contribute significantly to the success and efficiency of local government throughout the state of Texas. And whereas Municipal Clerks Week provides an opportunity to recognize and celebrate the invaluable work of municipal clerks, acknowledge their vital contributions to public service, and highlight the important role they play in the day-to-day operations of our cities. And whereas it is fitting that the City of Weimar take this opportunity to honor and thank Maria Franco, who is in municipal clerks training this week, that's why she's not here, as well as our judge, for her ongoing dedication, knowledge, and tireless service. Now therefore, I, Carlton Tucker, Mayor of the City of Weimar, Texas, and on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim the week of May 3rd, 2026 as Municipal Clerks Week. Thank you. Okay. With that, we'll move to item 5 on our agenda, and we'll have introduction of new employees. David?
Chief, would you like to introduce your new employee?
Yes, sir, thank you. We're happy to add 2 officers since the last time I met with y'all, the last council meeting. I'd like to have Chris Rosales, our new lieutenant, step up. Chris Rosales comes to us with 25 years of experience now. So he's worked in different places, Belleville, he's worked at Hearn Police Department and Austin County Sheriff's Department. Comes with a wealth of knowledge. We're just very happy to have him. Been here now a few weeks now, I guess, so making progress and doing good things at Weimar PD. So that was one that we didn't have on the agenda, so I hope you're okay with that. But
Absolutely.
So Lieutenant Rosales, and then we also have Officer Marco Cepeda. He comes up to us with 13 years of experience. He worked at Belleville PD. He also worked at Waller County Sheriff's Office, and most recently, I guess, Prairie View, Texas, Prairie View A&M as a lieutenant for their police department too. Comes with a wealth of knowledge as well. Dedicated to leadership, and they're both really good men to have on our force for sure. So we're glad to have them.
Excellent. So glad to have you guys.
Yes, thank you.
We're glad to be here.
Is that it for new employees?
That's it for new employees.
Okay. Item 6, City Manager and Staff Reports. David?
Okay, the city manager report, I just highlighted a few items here on page 10. We finally were able to pass a food truck court and mobile food vendors ordinance. That took a lot of work, and we appreciate all the work from P&Z and the council on that. Our crews have been working on drainage issues along Southeast Street and along Southwest Rail. much better job when it rained, we had this heavy rain, it was open the whole time, so that was working good. The water leak at it's a valve just on East Street, had to be postponed. We found out that there's several valves that we would need to close, and we want to keep the area as small as possible for the outage, but we have to work the valves and make sure they're all functioning properly before Michael actually does the work. We want to keep that small as possible. TDS has removed all the roll-offs from our property behind the sewer ponds. I want to thank TDS, Jennifer, and all the crews there for getting those off of the property back there. And then one last item, we've been working on several grants. We just keep working on the grants. Grants take a long time to process, and it's a long process. And we just keep updating and making sure we're working through those. But that's it for my report. Clay, you want to do a couple items on your, and Clay's package is actually, didn't make it into the thing, so it's loose
Yes.
right here.
We have two different sets. First, we'll go over the monthly end of April reports. First page, you can see our cash position at each institution. And then if you want to move to the check reconciliation, you can see the items that are over 1,000. You can see the descriptions and what they were for. If anybody has any questions about that? Then we have our credit card reports, not much activity for the month, very small amounts. There were only just a few vehicle repairs, one on the 1990 International and one on the 2021 Chevrolet Tahoe.
Those two CDs that are coming up, you'll look at Fed saving, I mean, they're with Fed savings now. Are you looking at to get those renewed?
Yes, we're in the process of doing
Okay.
that, yes. I've got notices.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. And then the other loose packet you have is the quarterly income and expenditure report for second quarter. I'd like to direct your attention to page 15. It pretty much gives a summary of this whole report and where we are halfway through our fiscal year. So at the halfway point, we're trying to be as close as we can to 50% of our budget. And if you look on page 15, our revenue is at 47.8% and our expenses are at 48.01. So we're real close to our budget. So we just keep moving along. Nothing has thrown anything off here, so we're looking good.
Right. Thank you, Clay.
The next report will be from Danny, Human Resources, pages 11 through 13.
Good evening. So you have my report. I wanted to add a couple of things. So on the job posting for Public Works labor, I did leave off that we actually send that posting to the high school as well to try to get a graduating senior to apply for a Public Works laborer. But we've gotten, 3 applications, Michael,
Yes.
I believe? And you're reviewing the last one?
Yes.
Okay. I will say that most of the last month I've worked on the pool, as far as getting the pool manager hired, getting lifeguards hired, getting all their paperwork in, and getting supplies and getting things ready for the pool season. But if anybody has any questions about my report.
Where are we at on the, weren't you looking into the different companies that could give the calls? and stuff like
Yes.
that?
I actually have a follow-up tomorrow with the one that we're looking to go with.
Okay,
Just a review, go over their pricing once again, and answer any questions that I might have had since the last meeting.
gotcha. And just to confirm, did the company go out of business, or was it just too,
So they had like a cybersecurity breach, Code Red did, and so they got basically like bought out by this other company called Crisis 24. And we basically weren't notified.
gotcha,
And so when we had that boil water notice that needed to go out last fall, like I was scrambling to find a way to send out a Code Red.
gotcha.
And unfortunately, because of the transition to the new company, I have had zero luck getting in touch with them to say, hey, if you want to keep my business, like, talk to me. Nothing.
Really? Okay.
Their phone number doesn't even work correctly. Like, you go through a call tree, and then it says, we can't connect your call, and it hangs up on you.
Yeah, we don't want that.
Yeah, no,
No,
So,
no, perfect, thank you.
yeah.
thank you.
Anything else? Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Chief?
All right, thank you. I'll have the report in front of you for the month of April. Just going over that really quick. We had 224 calls for service. We had 15 offense reports generated, 1 arrest out of that, 14 traffic stops, which included 10 written warnings and 4 citations. So our average is out 7.46 calls for service on average per day. That increased 82.11% from last month, and that's just because we're out there doing a little more than we were before. So anyway, I want to give you a little bit of an update on the Gdinki update. As far as security, everything went well. Most of y'all know about a train and a car probably by now. So we had a gentleman that's car broke down on the tracks at 155 and 90. He did not call it in. We had no warning. Parade was about to start, so he was trying to push the car off the tracks, and the train collided with the car at a reduced speed, but still was managed to push the car across 2 crossings right in the middle of the festival. Luckily, no one was in the car. The gentleman ran from the scene before the train hit and came back to the scene later on as we were working the scene here. Union Pacific officials were called. They came out and inspected the engine to make sure the engine was safe to return back to operation. The track was also inspected by a separate individual with Union Pacific that was deemed to be okay. And after about 3 hours of that, the train was released by us. The final release, I didn't realize, comes from the police department. So we did release the train. They moved it up further out of the way so the signals would quit making noise, and everybody was back to business again. So we're proud. No one was injured or killed in that situation. That was a huge success as far as that went. That was also about the time the parade was about to start, so there was discussion about whether we were going to cancel the parade. I knew that was a no-no. We moved forward with the parade. We had to alternate our route a little bit based on where the train was, because that's where we were going. But it seems like everything worked out okay. I didn't hear any complaints about that, so that's good. Since I've met with y'all last, I also wanted to make sure that we're back to business at the police department. I believe in starting on a fresh ground and moving forward. I've had CJIS, which is the FBI, come in to audit our agency. We came back with a good, clean bill of health there. A couple things we had to clean up. We're still waiting on the final approval, but I see that coming in the next week. TCOL also came in 2 separate times. We got some records back on track and file. No issues there. We got a clean bill of health. I believe, Mr. Mason, you got an email regarding that as well.
Correct.
So we're good there. We're currently going through a property and inventory audit currently at the PD. They started today. They'll be finished Thursday. The last time it was audited, I believe, was in January of 2025. They had it pretty well cleaned up then. There hasn't been a whole lot added since then, so we shouldn't have any issues there as well. So that's good. I just want to make sure we're moving from a good point forward, and I'm responsible for everything here on out. That's why we want these audits done. Also wanted to congratulate Jim Powers. He's with our agency. He just challenged the TCOL exam without going through a police academy, coming from another state, and passed it. So that's a very, very hard test to pass if you have it come straight out of an academy. He was able to do so, so we will be adding him to our department as a police officer as well here in the near future, as soon as the background's completed, which is required by TCOL, so we're excited about that. And right now, we're just we got a couple spots that we have to still fill. He'll help out with that position as well, so we will be good there. And we had another applicant apply today, so if that works out, we'll be hiring him as well. And there's one on the way possibly, so we're in pretty good shape now as far as personnel. We're getting a sewer leak almost weekly. Last 3 weeks in a row, it's been sewer, at least a day or two. So I tried my best to come in here clean today because we were in a 7-foot pit this morning. So now we've been we've been doing a lot of the ditch maintenance that David had mentioned, trying to get the ditches prepared for this rainy weather. And so far, everything that we've been cutting has been holding, and we've had to go back on a few to patch up and extend a little bit, or put rock for washouts, things like that to prevent that. But so far, the last 3 ditches that we've cut, they're all holding great. They're all flowing great. We still have one that we're working on in spare time. That's on East North Street up by North St. Andrews. That's the one we had the sewer leak on last month. That was all cleaned up and everything. TCEQ was all approved of for that. So right now, we found a bunch of concrete where apparently way back when they had put a concrete drainage ditch somewhere in the middle of that field out there. So once we found that, we started seeing that there was evidence of possible sewer that could have gone on top and below that concrete. So we've been pulling all that concrete out. We've gotten it all out, and now it's just a matter of, after all the rain and everything, we've got it in piles, and we're just trying to let it dry up so we can get dump trucks back there and get that all cleaned up. As right now, we also have our ground storage tank that is at well plant 3. That was the only violation that we have not cleared yet. That was came as a result of the compliance investigation from TCEQ back in February. That was our big ticket item. You know, it was going to cost a couple thousand. I have gotten the 3rd quotes in today, so we now have 3 quotes. So on the next agenda, on next month's meeting, we'll have a discussion about possible replacement, or not replacement, but repairing the seams and everything so we can stop the leaks on that tank. And then we'll be completely caught up with TCEQ violations. And the sewer plant right now, as far as the CSEP is concerned, we have had the flow meter and totalizer replaced. That's been installed yesterday, and everything's been working great so far. We still have the dissolved oxygen meters that are still on order. We should have those. I had an update this week. Within 30 days, they should be installed. And I sent everything after the flow meters and totalizers were replaced yesterday. I sent that over to the CSEP team with TCEQ for an update because I had not received an update. I've been kind of waiting on them for the last 3 weeks. So now I've sent out 2 different responses of updates of how we've been proactively addressing this. And we're still kind of, the ball's in their court waiting for them to get back to us. But right now, we're getting close, like within the last $5,000 to $10,000. I've sent a few different budget items that have gone back from May 2024 for their approval. If they sign off of them, then we should be able to bridge that gap. Maybe add 1 or 2 small items to bridge that gap and clear that violation. And we're also working on a few different grant and funding options for replacements of water lines, wastewater lines, all of that to do a full complete project. Tomorrow we have a webinar that I've invited David and Clay to for Texas Water Development Board. They're doing a kind of a quick access grant. All the applications are due by June 30th, and they're going to be funding very early in 27. So it's a very fast turnaround kind of grant. So we're going after that. We're going to sit down for a couple hours, get information on that. And we have Strand working with us right now, trying to help us with the application process and everything to get that going. We're still looking at 1 or 2 other energy savings type, no interest loans and grants and things like that, as well as we're still working into the Texas Local Government Code, the Chapter 302 with performance contracting, which is some of what the gentlemen here from E3 are going to be talking about later. Any questions for me?
How the dirty water complaints been?
Thank you for that. So since the bicarbonate has been live, we had 1 complaint in the first 2 weeks while we were doing our initial flushing, and so that was come to be expected. And since then, we have only had 1 additional complaint, and that was from a totally unrelated incident that's past Monday where we had a battery backup go out at the water tower. Drained the water tower an extra 10 foot than normal, so it took the wells just running a little bit continuously to get it kicked back on, and with that, it stirred some things up a little bit. Cleared that up. We're already out flushing in anticipation because of that known issue. So other than that, really, we've had no other dirty water complaints. We're down from 5 to 6 a week to 1 in 5 weeks now.
And when you had 5 or 6 a week, what did that do to the work situation for the public works workers?
Every time we got a call, it was at least 1 employee that took essentially an hour to turn around. If they were on a job site, they had to roll up the job site, they had to go grab whatever tools needed, you know, chlorine kit, something like that, to go out and adjust the situation. Flush for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, sometimes even longer in extreme cases, and then to all circle back to get back to the original job, every bit of an hour for every single one of those complaints. So the cost saving on salary alone is pretty substantial.
What about the hydrants that are out of service? Does it mean we're not able to flush those? Are we gonna get that addressed anytime soon?
Yes, we're trying to work on that right now. We've just been kind of swamped.
Correct.
But we have two that are out of service. The only two that are out of service is because they have very small pinhole leaks on.
Gotcha.
And they shut off the valve, the actual isolation valve for them. They're completely functional, but they have a slight, drip every 2 or 3 drips a minute kind of leak on them.
Okay.
And with that, it's just basically either we're gonna try to replace seals. If we can't replace the seals on them, then we're gonna have to pull the whole hydrant. So it's gonna be a lot bigger deal. So the seals are a $30 repair, the hydrant is getting into the thousands. So we're gonna try, and it's just been trying to get time on it.
No, I
We've been swamped on leaks and sewer and everything else
Yeah,
right now.
and I know it's not your fault, but like the one on Sadon, it's been over a year that's been out of service, so just not your fault.
Yes, sir.
I think we need to get it addressed.
And that one I know specifically on Sadon, that one is the one I was mentioning, that has a small leak on it.
Gotcha.
And it's just, there is an isolation valve right there, and they have just turned it off before I got here. And I really don't see the reason to keep it leaking right
Right.
now, but it is quick access, and if anything, we always keep wrenches around, so we're always available for any kind of help, or on-call, anything
Gotcha.
like that, we will be over there.
Just every hydrant's important asset.
Absolutely,
So,
absolutely. Any other questions for me right now?
appreciate it.
All right,
Thank
y'all.
you so much.
Thank you, Michael.
Misty?
All right. Well, good evening, Mayor, Council, City of Weimar. First thing right now, we got our visits to the library. This past month, we've had 572. For our Libby Overdrive on the online books and stuff, audiobooks, we had 21 checked out. On ebooks, we had about 35, so keeping a positive on that. For our holdings or books and materials in the library, we have 17,885 pieces. And then for our patrons, we're up to 1,816 patrons that have library cards. Being used right now out of the library are 248 on loan. For our May calendar, we are a little bit less busy than we were in April. April was pretty busy. It flew by like nothing. We did have a wonderful poetry night at the gazebo. Thank goodness the weather worked out for us. Then after that, straight after that, we had our book sale, which they told me they did a very good job on the book sale, selling some of our materials there. And then we had our Weimar Book Club meeting last night, which was a good turnout. Coming up pretty soon is our summer reading program, is the Unearth a Story. And the program starts on Monday, May 18th. So anybody can join. Join us for the summer of fun, friends, and reading. All ages are welcome, activities, events, prizes, and more. So we encourage anybody from birth all the way up to come and read with us. We have the library already started decorating with the dinosaurs, so it's pretty cool looking. If you want to come check it out, just to come visit, it's awesome. We'll be having the calendars come out for June and July, so everybody can be prepared for what's coming up on the agenda for the calendar. Most of our programs will be on Monday around 10:30, so we look forward to on Mondays in the morning. We are planning for, a heads up is Zippy the Silly, a balloon guy, and he's going to do a little magic. And then we have Science Heroes. We had them last year, so they're going to do some stuff. We also have on the 15th the Dynamite Day, which we're going to get with the police and some other organizations that day. We're going to set up tables around the gazebo and do little stations with the kids and stuff like Dynamite Day. And then on another one, we're going to be having the Magic in the Library, where a guy comes and does the magic. And then we have another one, the last one is going to be the Dinosaur Lady, where she comes in and presents dinosaur information, and then she introduces her to her dinosaur puppet. So we're looking forward to all that. And later in July, I did have a request for the snake guy to come back, so if you haven't seen the snakes yet, come and see the snakes and other reptiles that he will bring in July. And then we'll have other activities in between. I'm still working on a lot of it. Other than that, we do have grants. Finishing up on a grant with Dolly Parton grant. I'm working with the Fayette on that one. I just gotta finish filling out the paperwork, and then we can go in the proceeds of getting kids free books here in Weimar. Another one we're waiting on is the HEB one, the summer program, to see if we can get funding, some more funding for next year's summer program for that. So, other than that, that's it.
Thank you, Misty.
All right, thank you guys.
Thanks. Jim? Jim is our code official.
Evening.
Hello.
So on the code front, things have taken a big control. Pretty standard, pretty normal. I haven't had too much animal calls. And then, as was mentioned, I passed my T-Col test, so I'm going to continue to work within the police department, and I'm like Chief said, the evidence room is being audited. I'm handling that. So, other than that, that's about it. Any questions? Did the raccoon get out of your house?
Raccoon is still there.
Okay.
Oh, no.
And I have told him multiple times, he's unwelcome. He has yet to leave.
Okay.
So we'll see.
See what we can do.
We'll see. Congratulations on.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Speaking about tall grass and rain, I spoke with Donnie Head today. They've sprayed twice for mosquitoes, and he's monitoring the situation, and if he needs to spray again, he will, but he's kind of monitoring it, so I trust Donnie. He won't spray if we don't need it, but he will spray when we do need it.
Jim
so.
said we got mosquitoes.
Sorry, I forgot to mention something. So we've recently had some complaints, speed complaints through the neighborhoods. I'd like to make a proposal to the city. This is both for law enforcement and as code. I'd like to propose that we post speed limits on the streets. I've come up with a plan. It's very rudimentary, very basic right now, but posting speed limit signs on each end of the streets. Basically, the way I've come up with it's about 50 speed limit signs, using some posts, bolts. I got a price figure, but I propose that we do that. Everybody doesn't know that the normal speed limit in a city limits is 30 miles an hour, but not everybody knows that. So I'd like to propose that the city put up these speed limit signs on every street. It's not, you're not going to put them every block. You're just going to put them at the ends so people can see speed limits. Anyway, I'd like to make that proposal. Further discussion down the road. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It for reports?
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Presentations, item 7. Anything there, David?
No.
We'll move to agenda item 8, which is the consent agenda. 8.1, approval of the regular city council meeting minutes of April 9, 2026. And 8.2, approval of special city council meeting minutes April 29, 2026. And all consent items are considered routine and we act upon them with one vote.
So move.
Motion
Second.
Christian, second Roberts. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good, motion passes unanimously. Since we've had earlier new business, we completed 9.1, 2, and 3. We'll move to 9.4, presentation, discussion, and possible action of the fiscal year 2025 Comprehensive Annual Financial Plan, CAFR, by the city's independent auditor. David?
Mayor, Council, Greg Trilishek is here to present our CAFR.
From just gonna kinda hit the high spots like we have in the past and, try to explain everything along the way. So, I usually start on page 8 through 10. Page 8 is what we call the independent auditor's report. I usually tell you that this is the only pages in the report that belong to me, the rest of the report is the city's. Just since we got new council members, you can get, in your audit report, you can get 4 different kinds of audit reports. You can get an unmodified, unqualified opinion, which is a clean opinion, says everything's okay. You can get a modified opinion that says everything's okay except for certain things. You can get an adverse opinion that says nothing's right. Or you can get a disclaimer that says, I don't know if it's right or wrong myself. In your case, if you look at page 8, under opinion, the second paragraph, when it starts out, in our opinion, the financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respects. That is the unmodified or clean opinion. Says everything in here is fairly stated. May not be to the penny, but it's materially accurate. Then jump over to page 23. Page 23 is the balance sheet for all the governmental funds that the city has. Just kind of going across the columns, you have your general operating fund in that first column. Your second column, other non-major governmental funds. If you flip over to page 75, those numbers are coming from that page, and you can see that other governmental funds, or that includes your equipment reserve fund, your debt service fund, your capital project fund, then you have a home grant fund, city disaster fund, and park and recreation maintenance. So those are what makes up these other non-major governmental funds. And then last is an expendable trust fund, and that is your sheriff forfeiture fund, what makes that one up. So when you add all those together, those are your total governmental funds. Then I just jump over to page 25. 25 is more of a profit and loss statement on how did we do doing those funds. And I'm just gonna go to the last column. You can see you had total revenues of all those funds of $2,813,485. And then you had total expenses of $3,611,715. And then we had some transfers in of $710,736. So if you're looking at that third line from the bottom, on that last column, all of the governmental funds, we had a loss of $87,494 for the year in all those. And while I'm on this page, usually as an auditor, we say you should have 3 months of expenses in your fund balance. So if you're looking at the general fund, which is the first column, you had total expenditures of $2,666,936. If you divide that by 12 months, you come up with roughly $222,000 a month. So as auditor, we say you should have 3 months of expenses. So an adequate fund balance to us is $666,000. If you look at your bottom number, you have $840,000. So you have around almost 4 months. So your fund balance is adequate as of this period of time. So can't say anything bad about that.
No.
No.
Then jump over to page 29 and 30. And this is the profit and loss statement for what we're calling proprietary funds, or I used to call them utility funds, because it's your solid waste fund, and it's your water and sewer, and your electric fund. So if we look at page 30, the second column from the right, under total proprietary funds, and third number up from the bottom, we actually increased our fund balance by $126,000 in the utility funds. So when you're combining the two together, overall, we increased our fund balance by about $40,000 during the year. And David, he asked me, is that good? I said, well, you know, you're kind of in a rock and a hard spot, because if you make too much money, people say, well, why are we paying taxes, or why are our rates so high? Well, when you get back in your, I'm gonna say the 40,000, that way you know you're not overdoing it, I guess. You know, you're making good use of your money, you're not having a loss, but you do still have a little bit of a gain. Then I jump over to page 46. 46 is, the long-term liabilities. I mean, what kind of debt does the city have? Basically, you have one 2015 certificates of obligation. At the end of the year, we still owe $975,000 on those certificates. And then if you look at the top of page 47, that basically gives you the principal and interest that you're paying every year until you get them paid off in 2030. So you owe $975,000, but when you put the interest in there, it's $1,040,000. So then on, just to let you know for your information, on page 58 and to 69, it is a detail of your general fund expenses. So if you're looking at page 59 and it's culture and recreation, there's a department for city library. It's all on page 59. And so you can flip through and kind of see which department and how they're doing versus the budget for them. And then the last thing is, the last page of the report is a report on internal controls and compliance. And if you look at the bottom of page 83, the second sentence from the bottom, basically during our audit, we did not identify any deficiencies in internal control that we consider to be material weaknesses. And that's not to say there aren't any weaknesses, they're just not material weaknesses. They may be somebody's not reconciling something, or there should be with a general ledger, they're recording stuff, but then as auditors, we come in and we look at the cost and the benefits, because, you know, most of these checklists you get are for the city of Houston, and they got gobs of people and they can segregate everything, but in a small community, we can't do that. So we kind of adjust for that. And then at the top of page 84, the first paragraph, the last sentence, the results of our test disclose no instances of non-compliance that are required to be reported under government auditing standards. So, in a nutshell, you increased your fund balance 40,000 between all your funds, and you had no issues with internal controls or compliance, and your fund balance is about 4 months, so it's adequate with the 3 months too. So, overall, good. We'll say it's a good report. And I appreciate David and his staff. I used to have a girl, she does most of the legwork, and she's prettier than me, so that works out good.
Thank you so much.
And if you look through it and you got questions, they know where to find me. So,
Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
thank y'all.
Thanks, Greg.
Council, this is an action item. We have to have a motion to accept if you are ready to do that.
I'll make a motion that we accept the fiscal year 2025 comprehensive annual financial report by the city's independent auditor.
Motion Roberts,
Second.
second Langhoff. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you. With that, we'll move to 9.5, presentation, discussion, and possible action regarding E3 Integral Solutions Incorporated E3 update on bicarbonate installation and lagoon sonar results, City of Weimar. David?
You want to take the floor?
Sure, yeah, so we have two updates and presentation, so we'll be brief. So Michael kind of stole our thunder on the bicarbonate, so that's good news. If there's any questions, we'll be happy to answer it, but I won't take your time repeating everything.
It's been great. It's
Okay,
been
great. I'm glad everybody's excited. So the other thing that we did for y'all that you asked us to do was we sonared your lagoons. So, so this is the report. I condensed it down into one page. Basically, you have 3 ponds, and what it says is pond number 1 is 89% full. Pond 2 is 55% full. Pond 3 is 63% full. So you have a total of about 46,000 cubic yards full of sludge in the 3 ponds. Okay? And so so Michael was telling us in '23 he has a quote for about $3.6 million to dredge the lagoons. And so the challenge with dredging these days, it's been getting more and more expensive. If you back over and look at it, that's fine. The challenge with dredging is hauling is going up about 6% a year, and because of the forever chemicals, the tipping fees are going up about 10% a year. So it's compounding, it's getting more expensive. And then the other part is, if you don't do anything, a town about this size is about adding about 4,000 cubic yards every year of sludge back into the lagoon. So, right there, you have, just back up one real quick. So right there, you have, if you don't even do anything and you don't empty it, you're adding about $100,000 a year just from the escalation and the new 4,000 yards. So this is how you dredge. So these are the 4 things you have to do when you dredge. You loosen the material, you remove it, and then you transport it and dispose of it. So Tim and I have been doing this for a while. We see these projects have gone from just from the M&O budget over to the capital budget, just getting more and more expensive. So we went out and found a technology to eliminate 3 and 4 and drastically bring down the pricing. And so basically it's called nanobubble technology, and essentially what you're doing is you are pumping the lagoons full of tiny trillions of nano bubbles. And but basically what it does is it brings the lagoons back to life. Right now they're just like storage units for sludge. And when you bring in all the oxygen, it's like adding oxygen to a fire. It just gets big, and it'll eat all that sludge out of there. And you can eliminate 3 and 4, which is hauling, and the tipping fees, which are the most expensive parts of the process. One more. Yeah. So basically, you are converting your lagoons from passive to active. So if you look at it, on the left you have your traditional dredging. It's about 3.6 million. I think it was right under 4 you had said, so I just put in 3.6. Challenge with dredging, if you don't have the cash, you need a bond or certificate of obligation. You remove it one time, but it comes back. And it comes back on you. And really, you're not really getting rid of the problem. You're just moving the problem over to a landfill. With the nano bubbles, there's different ways you can do it, and we're working with Michael on some options. But I just put in an option just to show you. And instead of the 3.6, if you were to put this project into a performance rebuilding type of project, which we're about to show you, it'd run you about $85,000 a year. And so it's about 22 cents on the dollar as opposed to dredging. And the good part about it is it'll eliminate the problem. It'll not come back the way it's set up there. So, so really, the only thing I want to leave with you with, we did this up in Stockdale. We just finished up, and we took those guys from about 6 foot to 1 foot in 90 days. And got all their levels back to what it was supposed to be. And nobody in town could even remember the last time it was dredged. So we saved them millions of dollars, and we did put it inside of a performance rebuilding program. So that was my quick report on the sonar. I wanted to tell y'all the issue and then say, hey, don't worry, there's another option besides the dredging. Any questions?
Something I would like to add into this, in the last week or two, and in studying this, I've also contacted a few different sludge haulers, just to have as emergency backup after our sewer leak that caused the problem. I want to be able to have a sludge hauler on standby for emergency, manhole or lift station overflow, something like that, we need something quick. And I'm going through getting everything set up, there's a bunch of applications you have to do, the T-Clip, the land app, for metals, like there are a few different applications. And the whole process, because we're not on a steady, we don't regularly haul sludge, it hasn't been kept up with. So what I'm looking at right now, to get everything set up as brand new applicants, we're looking at 18 to 36 month lead time to just do the application itself, to be able to actually call one of these sludge haulers to have them come out and help us in an emergency situation, or in any situation like dredging.
Where do they haul that stuff to?
There's one in Brookshire, and then I know there's quite a few of the companies, they all go out to the Crosby area.
But you don't haul down private land or anything?
No. These go to actual, they repurpose it and resell it. Compost it essentially. That's all.
Yeah, sure. All right, so we're switching over to the presentation to talk a little bit about performance rebuilding, which we talked about a couple months ago, but since we have the new members, it'll be a review for some. So real quick, we're E3 design build contractors. Design build is the fastest and most cost-effective way to do a project, and one of the main reasons is there's no change orders. So we've been out here for a while, so started it back in about the 24, but really most of it, of the work we've done is since Michael got on board. I think we met him actually the first week he was hired out here. And so we went and worked on well 9, which was offline. We brought that back on, and then we have been doing the Bicarvis for the past 5 or 6 weeks. And really tonight what we're asking you to do is if you're interested in this type of program, we're just going to see if you want us to take the next step to develop a scope, cost, and savings. There's really the only commitment would be time. There's no financial commitment tonight. So this is the agenda. We'll talk a little bit about the trends here, solutions, outcomes, and path forward. So the trends are, so this is some of the stuff that's happening out here. Really, if you look at it, there's about $30 million worth of work that needs to be done. We cannot self-fund all of that, but it is a lot of stuff that needs to get done. As you know, everybody knows about the piping, which Michael had just talked about. You do have a grant for the water meters and the sludge that we had just talked about, and then there's some other items on the right-hand side. Is there anything you want to add to about the stuff that y'all need?
As far as this goes, no, yes, sir, that's very accurate.
Okay, so talk a little bit about performance rebuilding. This program follows Local Government Code 302 performance contracting, and basically what that says is you can get a project done up front, no upfront capital, and you pay for it over time. So it's a self-funding project. It's a fancy word for self-funding project. And so this is where the funding options come from. So start from left to right, we can go energy savings. We can change out light bulbs, get some energy savings there, put some pumps and new motors on lift stations, stuff like that. So that'll create some energy savings. Michael gave the example is, if he did have some new piping, that he could reduce his leak budget by a whole bunch. That's savings that you can count. Capital avoidance, let's go back to the lagoon. Let's say you didn't do it today, but that's about a $300,000 to $400,000 thing that you need to start setting aside to one day have the money to do the event of dredging it out. So if we were to do that inside the program, that would be a savings also. They count that as savings. Revenue recovery, that's fancy for going, okay, I'm gonna go from an old PD meter to a new ultrasonic meter. It registers better. There will be a gain on the water and sewer revenue. We do help with grants and rebates. I had told Michael about there's a new grant out there for energy efficiency in libraries and civic centers. So, but that's an option. Plus, you guys already have one with the water meters. And then you can add debt roll-off. So, the gentleman was talking about the CO that retires in 2030. If you can pull that into this program to make and take advantage of it now, and then and get the work done now. The benefit of that is that construction inflation is pretty high. So you're getting stuff done now and paying it off later at today's prices is always better. So there's two ways you can do well, there's more than 2 ways, but these are the main 2 ways to procure these types of things. We're considered a professional service, so you can do requests for qualifications. You can go out and get resumes and make a selection that way. That process has already been done by BIBORD. We're a member of BIBORD, and so you can select us off of BIBORD. The great part about BIBORD is that everything is RS means. So a third party comes in, checks all the pricing, and makes sure everything is in line, and that's a good peace of mind for you guys. And the Texas Water Development Board sees the BIBORD as competitive. Really, the action plan, what we're asking tonight, are you interested? We'll go out and build you a program, come back with a menu, scopes, costs, savings. And we'll work with staff on that. That's developing the project. We'll come back, we'll present that to you. If you like what you hear, we will, and you vote to proceed, we'll start the project and complete the project. So we did a similar project at Stockdale from soup to nuts, about 6 months for the whole job. And the beauty of also when you're setting up the payment, you can put it into the following budget. So it gives you plenty of time to
plan for it.
Yes. And that's the action plan. That's the whole presentation. Any questions? Well, thank y'all for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's been amazing so far, for sure.
Start the procedure, yeah.
So, Council, we are at a position as to whether or not you want to have them move forward to put together a plan. And that would be all we're looking at tonight, and there's, making sure with you guys, there's no cost for you to put together a plan.
Correct.
I just want
Just
to make
the time.
sure that is clear for everyone present. So if the council is interested in that, then we would need a motion, second, the usual sort of procedure. But that's up to you.
And we focus on the freshwater. We kind of pretend the sewer ponds don't exist, you know? And one day it's gonna blow up on us, I guess.
That's part of the reason we're fighting a violation right now.
Right, that's true.
As it snowballs, so will the violations.
Yeah, if something, a major leak over there, something happens, and the bacteria is too high, we're gonna get fines, violations, which will,
Right now, with these large rains that have been coming through, we've been going out there and shutting those aerators off manually.
so that that tank is not constantly stirring where it's pouring in fresh rainwater. We're trying to let that fresh rainwater go out to not stir up the contents and have sludge running out into the creeks and all that, just to keep it maintained so it doesn't flip our plants right now.
Well, I move to authorize E3 to proceed with the next phase of the performance contracting proposal, development, and to return to council with the defined scope, schedule, and draft proposal terms for consideration.
Motion Roberts,
Second.
second Christian. Any further discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a safe trip, yeah.
Safe trip home. So I guess we're at 9.7? My goodness, that moved right along. 9.7, discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding the appointment of Mayor Pro Tem. David?
Mayor, council, do we have any recommendations?
Becky.
Becky, okay.
All right. I'll save a little money because I don't have to get a new flag.
There you go.
We needed to pay for all these other situations.
That's right, we have other things coming.
So we had,
Okay, seems like Becky's.
Becky has
okay with
been
that.
suggested as Mayor Pro Tem.
Have a motion?
Have a motion?
I have a motion to name Becky Roberts Mayor Pro Tem.
Motion Christian,
Second.
second Langhoff. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. And then, any further discussion, David, on anything?
No, I don't think
I
so.
think no executive session needed tonight, so there's nothing to say about executive session other than we're not having one. And then future agenda items, anybody have anything? Okay. Announcements? I think there's one, David.
One, the Weimar City Pool opens Saturday of Memorial Day weekend, and they are open on the Monday of Memorial Day weekend. No, they're not open Monday? They're not open Monday. I thought they were. All right, they're wrong. Okay, so they're open on Saturday, but closed on Monday, Memorial Day.
I would like to make one note, if it's okay, that Christina Behrens is here tonight, still
Yes.
showing her interest in the city of Weimar, and we appreciate that.
Thank you.
Just for the new council members, well, the re-elected and new member, got some papers there that we have to get signed, so don't get away before we make sure we have everything we need there. Becky will sign mine, and then with that, Becky,
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
thank you. Have a good night.
I need an ink pen.